if most Americans say, including gun owners, say that they want to make it harder for criminals, the mentally ill, ex-felons, anybody who shouldn't have a gun to buy a gun, then why doesn't Congress do something about it?
Dangerously close to falling into a new normal where mass shootings of children, of healthcare workers, of moms and dads, brothers and sisters is commonplace. Is this the kind of country we want to be? Is that the kind of country we want our children to grow up in? Mothers should not have to bury their daughters because Congress doesn't have the courage to act. A husband shouldn't get a call that his wife was killed in the classroom because Republicans in Congress don't have the courage to challenge the NRA. Enough is enough.
I think undeniably the National Rifle Association has a disproportionate influence on Congress and on any laws affecting guns. Ironically, every poll you see says that the great majority of Americans say we should make it harder for people to get guns, especially the people who we need background checks on everybody who buys a gun. I mean, the president didn't go out in left field the other day when he said anybody who sells a gun has to get a federal gun seller's license. Now, what's so radical about that? I don't think anything.
But no matter what, whether you don't give them guns, they're going to get guns. They're going to get, there are right now 200 to 300 million guns out there. They're going to get guns. It's not a gun problem, it's a mental illness problem.
We need to start examining why it is that people are taking violent action, not what they're using to commit the violent act with. And we have two issues in this country. One is mental illness, which we need to begin to address more seriously. And the other, of course, is why have we become so violent as individuals? What is it that's leading people in this country who are not mentally ill to do the sort of drive-by shootings?
We have a requirement of background checks, a 72-hour waiting period. People are not violating any Second Amendment rights. In fact, Florida would be considered a Second Amendment pro-gun state. Gun violence is way down, but we have simple checks to make sure that people that aren't criminals are not accessing guns. And I think the next step is to figure out ways to make sure that we can we know if people have mental health issues, which is really the common denominator of a lot of these violent, tragic cases.
Well, I don't think anyone has all the answers, but I think some of the components are, first of all, guns should not be in the hands of people who should not have them. We have to stop shouting at each other. We need sensible gun control legislation. And by the way, we need to significantly improve mental health services in the United States of America.
I believe we are smart enough, we are compassionate enough to figure out how to balance the legitimate Second Amendment rights with preventive measures and control measures.
And we finally have a precedent. It took him 7 years to do it, but he finally has stepped forward and he gave a powerful speech last week on guns, and he openly cried as he thought about the children at Newtown, Connecticut. That was a spontaneous, authentic moment, and you would hope it made an impression on Congress, but I don't think it did.
So I think politics drives a lot of it, but I do think that maybe we're a little bit more sensitized. I think maybe people feel more like they have a little bit more say because they can go on, sign petitions and sign things on Twitter and you know, kind of rally around the cause. And I think maybe people feel a little more empowered than they maybe did before, back when violence was an issue.